What is the difference between this?
ഞാനൊരു നല്ല പോലീസ് ഓഫീസറല്ല. ചെല്ലുന്നിടത്തൊക്കെ വില കൂട്ടിത്തരുന്ന ഒരു പ്രീമിയം സ്റ്റാറ്റസ് സിമ്പലിനപ്പുറം ഒരു ബഹുമാനവും ഞാൻ ഈ പദവിയോട് കാണിച്ചിട്ടില്ല. എനിക്ക് തന്നെ അറിയാം, എന്നെ പോലൊരു ബിലോ ആവറേജ് ഓഫീസർക്ക് ഇത്.
And this.
आज मुझे यहाँ अवार्ड मिला है किसी को मारने के लिए. अब वो बुरा आदमी था तो उसको मारना भी जायज़ है, पर कई बार हमें अच्छे बुरे और सही गलत के बीच में चुनने में मुश्किल हो जाती है. मैंने हमेशा से अपनी ड्यूटी को सबसे ज़्यादा अहमियत दी.
Well, there are ton of differences, but you could say the main difference is in Mumbai Police, the dialogue, though seemingly similar, unfolds with a layer of humility. It highlights several things at once. Aryan is really speaking his heart, as it's something rarely spoken by an officer in his position. In contrast, Rohan delivers it straightforward in Deva. The dialogue is more plot-oriented and not character-oriented like the one of the original. It feels like not even the actor believes in what he's saying, and that's what sets these two scenes apart. Aryan is a reformed cop.
ഞാനൊരു നല്ല പോലീസ് ഓഫീസറല്ല.
Rohan is a coerced cop.
Congratulations.
So today I would like to dive deep into why these two films are so different even while tackling the same story, particularly how subtle changes in screenplay made by the same director can distinguish between a masterpiece of storytelling and one that falls short of anything. The scene in question is a particularly important one, but the writers of Deva appears to have missed the subtleties in why it works so well in Mumbai Police. It's an important point in both stories that leaves a trail of unanswered questions.
Sniper shot.
Such as the motive behind the death and what it was about to reveal. But to simplify our discussion, let's break it down step by step. The scene unfolds in the early stages of both movies. In Deva, we first spend 30 minutes understanding Dev's relation with Rohan and other characters. And right after Rohan proposes to his girlfriend, we see him get killed. But in Mumbai Police, we jump straight into it. After spending 20 minutes with an amnesic Anthony, who doesn't remember anything about his past, Anthony being Dev of this story, without knowing Aryan's relation to him or any other main character, Aryan being Rohan of this story. Now, well, I know it might sound silly, but in these two approaches lies everything needed to distinguish between these two movies. It's a change so fundamental that it basically alters the way in which the story is going to be absorbed by the audience.
മറാഠി.
Because now if you try to describe Deva's plot after watching it, it would be something like, when a cop's best friend is murdered in a medal ceremony, he must investigate the case and bring his friend justice. But when that cop meets with an accident, he recovers, forgetting everything. He must now retrace his steps and solve the crime once again. And then describe Mumbai Police with the same process. It would be something like when Officer Anthony Moses wakes up from a near fatal accident with no memory of his identity or past.
Because I don't know what is happening.
He must rediscover who he was.
I feel like a puppet.
And complete an unsolved murder investigation assigned to him. But when the murder victim turns out to be his best friend, he must overcome his denial and pursue the investigation to its rightful end. And this is one of the main differences between these two films, because Mumbai Police shows the earlier stages of the story from the point of view of amnesic Anthony. We begin to absorb the story as he does.
Farhan, your closest friend.
It evolves into a story of self-discovery. The audience become the protagonist of the story, and we find everything as he finds.
It's about a police officer who has an accident and wakes up with complete amnesia.
Even without the final shock value and the twist, it's a brilliant screenplay.
And because Deva takes a timid approach and shows every card as soon as possible, there are hardly any revelations left before the final act, and we will talk about the final. But before, a little context. In early August 2022, it was reported that Rosshan Andrrews visited Shahid Kapoor at his residence and narrated a script which impressed him. The lead downplayed the idea of it being a remake of 2013 Mumbai Police.
और रोशन एंड्रयू की मुंबई पुलिस
नहीं, मुंबई पुलिस नहीं कर रहा मैं उनके साथ. एक्चुअली लोगों को शायद लग रहा है कि वो मुंबई पुलिस है, बट मैं रोशन एंड्रूज के साथ एक फिल्म ज़रूर कर रहा हूँ.
Rumors began to spread about how he shot 3 different climaxes for the movie, while the trailer showed endless snippets alluding to its similarity with the Malayalam one. It seems like the producers were convinced that they would have made enough changes to the original in order to escape from the tag of being a remake. Well, they were wrong. And that only made things harder for the director and writers, who in a hurry changed things that should have never been touched. So he introduced a new climax for Deva, one that deviates 180 from the ending of Mumbai Police.
Mumbai Police, Sanjay, Bobby and Roshan had scripted the film till about the last 20 minutes.
Right.
And they were kind of stuck on which direct, what is that twist? And we were there at that point for a few months. And it's like late night one day, I get a call from Roshan saying, bro, you remember once you told me that for the merit of the film, you'll do anything. I said, yeah. Do you still hold true to your word? I said, of course. I said, then can I come and meet you? So Sanjay and Roshan, they came and met me. And they're like delicately breaking the last reel to me. They're like, this happens. And I clapped. And I said, this is fantastic. Because it was not about a star playing that, nothing. There possibly couldn't be a more unpredictable twist to the film.
In the Malayalam version, Anthony, played by Prithviraj, learned that he himself was responsible for his friend Aryan's murder after getting discovered that he was secretly gay. Anthony had him killed in an effort to keep his sexual identity a secret.
I can explain, Aryan.
This was how Mumbai Police ended. This was also how its Telugu remake ended. But for Hindi audiences, he deployed an entirely new climax, one that erases one of the best things about the original. In the remake, Deva's character kills his friend for entirely different reasons. Rohan discovers that Deva was the mole all along and had been working for gangsters, just like Matt Damon in Scorsese's The Departed. And that's what brings us back to this scene. While it may look similar on surface, with this new information, it will look a lot different. In Mumbai Police, Aryan was upset with Anthony, not because of Anthony's sexuality, but because Anthony had hidden part of his life from him despite their close friendship.
നിന്റെ ലൈഫ് നിന്റെ ഇഷ്ടം. ഒരു വാക്ക് നിനക്ക് എന്നോട് പറയാമായിരുന്നു. ഇതിൻ്റെ പേരിൽ ഫ്രണ്ട്ഷിപ്പ് വേണ്ടെന്ന് വെക്കില്ലായിരുന്നു ഞാൻ. ഒരു എക്സ്പ്ലനേഷൻ ചോദിക്കില്ലായിരുന്നു.
And punched his boyfriend after that, before questioning his method as a way to hide his reality.
എല്ലാം വേറൊരാണത്തമില്ലായ്മ മറയ്ക്കാനുള്ള ഒന്നാം തരം മുഖംമൂടി.
The two had a heated argument,
Aryan, please. That's the limit.
after which Aryan storms out. After he leaves, Anthony's boyfriend starts to panic because homosexuality was not only illegal in 2013 but also a taboo, making Anthony anxious as well. But Aryan overcame his prejudice, as Anthony comes to know later in the movie, and he was about to make amends in his speech at the medal ceremony before getting killed.
ഈ ഗാലൻട്രി അവാർഡ് പോലും അവൻ എനിക്ക് വെച്ച് നീട്ടിയതാണ്.
The same medal ceremony, which was about honoring what he did.
ആന്റണി മോസസ്, my friend, my brother, please come on to the stage and take this.
While in Deva, Rohan was shocked and hurt by his betrayal and was unable to process his emotions, as he discovered that his childhood friend Dev was working undercover for the gangsters.
क्यों किया? क्योंकि बेईमानी सबके साथ, मेरे साथ.
And even killed for them,
इनको मालूम है ना उसने क्या किया हमारे लोगों के साथ?
owing his medal to that kill.
अरे उस दिन से ढूंढ रहा हूं मैं उसको ठोकने के लिए.
He even questioned that if it was all just to hide the evidence,
मुझे लगा यहाँ तू मेरी जान बचा रहा है, सबूत मिटा रहा था.
who confesses to his crime.
मेरे को सेकंड चांस चाहिए.
Rohan too storms out, telling that he will reveal the truth on the medal ceremony.
फर्स्ट ने को ना नंगा करूंगा तुझे.
In spite of his initial anger and hurt, Rohan decides to forgive him. He planned to reveal to the world that Deva killed the gangsters, but while also hiding that he was working undercover for them,
ये अवार्ड भी उसी का तोहफा है.
in a way making Deva a hero
उसके सिर्फ तरीके गलत है.
and giving him a second chance as a friend.
वो आदमी गलत नहीं है.
Now, as you can see, both these scenes might look similar, but because the final twist as to why the cop friend gets killed is different in both stories, the morality of Rohan and Aryan are different while being the same characters. Aryan was a reformed man who was about to overlook a societal taboo, while what Rohan was overlooking was a traitor in the midst.
Bullshit.
Because of whom, God knows how many police officers might have got killed. Andrews or whoever took the decision to do this seems to equate being a gay to being a traitor. Only one of this thing is actually a crime. In both films, the protagonist killed his friend, but in Mumbai Police, he did it to protect himself from a society that wasn't ready to accept him. Homosexuality was a much bigger taboo when the original movie was released, and by pushing its protagonist to such extremes, it acknowledged just how unbearable life could be for minorities in India. Deva, however, is motivated by purely selfish reasons. Betraying your department and passing information to a gangster is obviously wrong, but being a homosexual isn't. In Deva, the hero is an irredeemable person, even before he is revealed to be a murderous criminal. And only one of these characters deserve our sympathy.
तुम अच्छे पुलिस ऑफिसर.
No, he isn't.
I'm proud of you, Dev.
Bullshit.
To tell you frankly, most remakes that work seem to hardly deviate from the way the original story was told. The sequences in which the situation unfolds is as important to a good story as its theme and meaning. Take Mani Chitraju, the original film that sprawled the many remakes, one of which is Bhool Bhulaiya. Both films starts with the POV of villagers. Then the characters from foreign arrive and start staying in the palace. Soon the supernatural occurrences start. All this thing happen even before the court jester, the Senior Blanc of the story, enters the situation. Priyadarshan understood this and never tampered with the structure of his remakes. Even Drishyam unfolds the same way as the original Malayalam version. Just last year, the Hollywood remake of Danish language thriller Speak No Evil was released, with a drastically different climax from the original. While the Danish movie had a nihilistic end, the English remake presented a more palatable conclusion. Christian Tafdrup, who directed the original, while speaking on a Danish radio show, particularly noted the American storytelling of good defeating evil, acknowledging that the remake could never replicate the bleak ending from the original, as it wouldn't fit the culture. He says, and I quote, "I don't know what it is about Americans, but they are brought up for a heroic tale, where good must win over the bad. And this version of the film cultivates that. These people must fight for their family and defeat the bad guys. It is a kind of happy ending, and it is so deep in their culture that America must be able to handle it all." In the same way, you can say that the makers thought that their culture, our culture, still isn't ready to see our heroes, our macho heroes, as gays, which is highly critical of Bollywood, who sees itself as a flag bearer of progressiveness.
Unacceptable superficially, like a Chulbul Pandey being gay.
What a ballsy move it would have been if the actor who played Kabir Singh, a character who the media has made to be an icon of everything toxic about masculinity, to play a mirror image of the same character, but with a twist in the climax that could have shaped the fabric of the way people would have looked at him in future. Such a lost opportunity. Heartbreaking, as both the films had the same person at its helm, who couldn't see the power of his own storytelling and pondered for mediocrity.
Now, it's okay to play a gay police officer. Now, the shock value happens when, let's say, a big actor who has a lineage and who has a so-called image that has been constructed through the films that he's done, decides to do something like that.
All of this is to say that a climax can really shape the very essence of a narrative. It can affect the context, the subtext, and in the case of something like Shutter Island or Now You See Me, alter the manner in which those movies are read. Remake culture could never die down in a country like India, whose cultural diversity invites the opportunity for movies to be reimagined for different regions. Some of our biggest filmmakers' careers are made on it. But the recent list of flops do show that, as long as producers in Bollywood approach remake as an easy way to earn a quick buck, audience will continue to bring them down. Deva didn't flop because it's a remake, but because of its bad storytelling, with an unredeemable protagonist.
I am Mafia.
It's a movie that does disservice to its own story. A movie that panders to an obsolete audience in the name of mass and masala, instead of pushing the boundary of who can be a Bollywood hero. And if you like what I do here, you can support me by becoming a member of my channel. Thank you.